Miniature Talk.
You're not his friend. He doesn't have friends.
Don't talk out loud. You lower the IQ of the whole street.
You're a bloody psychopath.
Shut up. Shut up.
Shut up, everybody! Shut up! Don't move, don't speak, don't breathe. I'm trying to think.
Stay away from Sherlock Holmes. Because he's a psychopath.
We found it in the hands of our favourite psychopath.
Not a psychopath, Anderson. I'm a high-functioning sociopath.
High-functioning sociopath.
The name's Sherlock Holmes and the address is 221B Baker Street.
I think you all know this person. Yes. Sherlock Holmes is the well-known fictional detective wrote by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in 1887. And he soon became so popular that many people thought to him as a real individual, not a fictional character. Actually, Doyle had wrote the characteristics based on a real person. But anyone who knows Sherlock Holmes also knows his loyal companion, Dr. John Watson. While Dr. John Watson is being absolutely useless in solving crimes, Doyle felt the necessity of an outsider in the story so that audience could see the whole thing through his eyes. Because, as for Dr. Watson, Sherlock has always been a mysterious character to us. He could see the details we weren't able to. He could solve the crimes that haven't been solved for years. And he knew all about every horror perpetrated in London in the past 100 years. It seemed like he lived in a whole other world, or at least he thought in a whole other way. But something always seemed wrong with him. How a person that smart could be so poor in social interactions? Was he trying to be rude, or was he intentionally insulting other people? Was he the person people thought he was? Emotionless, cold-blooded, and even a psychopath? Or was he the person he thought he was? A high-functioning sociopath? Now I'm going to reveal a secret to you. Not only he was not a psychopath, as people said, but also he wasn't the sociopath as he thought. The truth is, he was only being an autistic. What comes to your mind when first talking of autism? Oh, poor kid. I think this is the first thing comes to your mind because, to be honest, you might have thought of intellectual disability when it comes to autism. Actually, many people cannot differ autism from Down syndrome, while the prevalence of a newborn being diagnosed with Down syndrome is 1 in 1,000 births. 1 in every 54 live births is diagnosed with autism, and still, it's increasing. Yet, we know almost nothing about autism compared to Down syndrome or other developmental conditions. So today, despite all this, we are going to solve the enigma instead of Sherlock, the enigma of him, the puzzle of autism. The main piece of this puzzle is that autistics may not be good in social interactions and communications. They may avoid eye contact and physical interactions like handshaking or hugging. They may speak in a monotonous way, and also autistic kids may start to speak later and harder than other kids, or even remain nonverbal. They also have a difficulty in understanding other people's feelings, the thing that we call as showing empathy. This may lead to misunderstandings, like they may be called as cold-blooded or emotionless or rude. But the truth is, they don't intend to be mean. Their brain just works in another way. And the proof to this is the theory of mind. The theory of mind is a concept in our brains that helps us experience what other people are feeling and also know about their emotions. But the autistics, they lack this concept. And the false belief task is a proof to this. So let's see what is a false belief task. So the red red head is Anne and the blue head is Sally. Anne has a basket and Sally has a box. Anne puts a ball in her basket and then she goes for a walk. Then Sally takes the ball from the basket and puts it in the box. So when Sally's back, where would she search for the ball? In the basket or in the box? I think we all know the answer. If you're 5 or older, you're going to answer this question as in the basket. Unless you're an autistic. An autistic might answer this question as in the box because they think everybody are seeing the same thing that they are seeing and experiencing the same as them. So they cannot understand other people's emotions and therefore they may react to their emotions in a wrong way. In the terms of biology, their brain cannot switch as easily and quickly between thoughts and activities as we do. So in the complicated brain connections like social interactions and complex motor tasks, they're having difficulty. But sometimes they start to mask themselves. Masking is something autistics learn through time to be less humiliated and more accepted in the society. Masking is faking their emotions and reactions. It can be very exhausting. It can prevent them from being diagnosed and also it can isolate them. But unlike social interaction that is a complex brain task, when it comes to simple brain tasks like focusing on something and to pay attention to details around us, they're so great. So look at this picture. It's a panoramic picture of the New York City. If you were asked to paint this panoramic by memory with all these details, how much time would you have needed? A month? A year? Is anyone here who thinks they could memorize this in less than a week? Please raise their hands. No one? Less than a day? Yeah. And this is a painting of the same photo. Painted by Stephen Wiltshire, the autistic painter, after only a 20 minutes helicopter ride over the New York Sea. The details are amazing. This feature helps them be great at their special interests. A great example for this is Wolfgang Mozart. He was an artistic musician and composer, and clearly he was crazy about his profession, and a great one at this. So, this paying attention to details while being so useful can get even annoying, because when they attend in a loud birthday party or in a crowded mall, they cannot ignore the information around them, so it gets confusing. To react to this, they might do 2 things. First, they may start their repetitive behaviors. Repetitive behaviors are something that help them cool their brains and free up their minds. So it can be like going back and forth in a room for 1,000 times, or rocking backwards and forwards during a business meeting, like what Bill Gates might do. Yes, Bill Gates is said to be an autistic too. But if the situation gets so intolerable, they may start experiencing a meltdown. A meltdown is an overreaction to an overwhelming condition. It may be like screaming out loud or punching the wall, and while it can hurt themselves or the others, we should never forget that this is not intentional. While our puzzle is being completed, we should know that these characteristics differ in each individual with autism. They say when you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. A 10-year-old autistic may still have problems speaking and needs the help of a specialist, while a 25-year-old autistic may haven't been diagnosed yet because the symptoms were very mild. Also, although we gain so much information about autism, we still don't know many things about it. I mean, we don't know how genetic effects on it or why they have more mental problems than neurotypical people. And now we're looking to the first symbol of autism introduced to the world in 1963. This is in a shape of puzzle because autism is still a mystery to us, and it's colorful to show the spectrum. It has more blues in it because it happens 4 times more in boys than girls. And it's ironic because blue is the color of sadness. But if you ask autistics, they hate the symbol. They're here living their lives among us and they're still being called mysterious, like they're some kind of alien or something. So the symbol changed to this. The colorful infinity symbol. It's colorful to show the diversity, and it's all blended into each other to show that they're also a part of the society and shouldn't be left out. Actually, autistic people can see the world in more details, so maybe they're not the elephant, but we are. I mean, they shouldn't mask their feelings. They shouldn't be isolated. They should be allowed to be themselves, whatever they are, because they're also human, just like us. We've always seen ourselves as the kings of the world. We always thought we should label everything with our limited knowledge. We were so busy judging everyone that we forget that we're all human. And we should work together to build our world. I think to fulfill this dream, we should learn more about autism, hear their words, help them, and get help from them to change the world in a way that works for them too. Thank you for your attention.
Miniature Talk.